Oh, okay. This could very well be the biggest Jordy, what were you thinking video for Dremel carving ever. This is a piece of driftwood I found. It's a massive piece for my Dremel table for my Dremel carving. Somebody asked on one of my lives the other day, what would be the difference for sizes from Dremel carving to take it to chainsaw carving? Well, this is such a big piece. This is probably like more than 2 foot wide here. It's thick. It's heavy. But this is the way I found it. It sits perfectly flat on the table. I just cleaned up this face a bit. This would be as big as I'd want to do Dremel carving. Now, there's lots to explain on this video. This is for the very beginning wood carvers. And this video is probably for my normal subscribers to see me push myself to do a big carving like this on with the Dremels and possibly my Fordham. Now, I want to explain something very clearly here. I got a new camera mount from Evil Rick bought me something on the camera mount on Amazon, so you might see some different angles. The camera's in the camera mount right now. So thank you so much for it, Evil Rick. I used it on a live last night and it worked great for switching angles and stuff like that. So this would be a burl off a tree. I don't know. There's a bit of spalting in here, right here. I'll zoom in. And there's also some bird's eye up here. So my conclusion to that before I even start, it's either a birchwood burl, or a maple wood burl. I know it's a whiter wood. And it's end grain. You can see all the grain, how it flows like this. Now, some people don't know. If you do know and you say I don't need to explain this, well, that's your problem. I'm going to explain it. So this would be a log, right? The tree would go up this way. All inside of that log, the grains, there's a name for it. Pretend there's a billion little straws going up that log. A billion of them, just tiny little microscopic things. So this would be the side view of all the straws inside the log. Now, if you look at, so this would be face grain, carving this. If it was outside of the log, you'd be carving the grain, the turns and stuff like that. But if you look at the top side of the log, you got all the ends of the billion straws. So you're carving into the ends of the straws, right? So that's what I'll be doing here. If I had a super powerful microscope and put it on here, I'd see a billion little hollow holes in here that would be the ends of the straws. So this would be the carving into the end grain, which is always the hardest wood to carve into the end grain. And another thing too, this grain is so wide. The dark spots, I'm not too sure. I haven't carved it yet. The dark spots in the grain might be harder than the soft spots. So it might be carving like a brick, then where it's whiter in there, it would be like carving foam. So sometimes it can be for wide grain cedar, when it's dry, it's tricky because you get hard and soft spots. Now, I can't see anything else. I don't think I'm gonna clean up this rustic looking outside here. There is a hole in here. It's been drying in my house for about 2 weeks. It's been in my tent for about, I'd say, 2 months. Is it bone dry? I'm not too sure. I don't know. I'll tell you right now, this piece, 100%, I have to do one of my side views of an eagle here. That's just what I want to do. Some of you guys might be going, oh no, another freaking eagle. Well, that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to talk about the challenging things about this piece. There is a lot of wood to remove behind that eagle. Now, another thing too. This is just me talking, inspecting the wood before I carve. Another thing too, there's a bark inclusion right here. I can see a little bit of bark right in there. Right, so that would be, if I could get some of that bark out of there, that would be a good indicator what type of wood this is. But that's a bark inclusion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start carving this along that bark inclusion and leave it natural. So this bark inclusion will overhang the piece, and this will be carved in a lot deeper. Now, the eagle, also, this piece is sloped out this way, which it should be sloped in that way for the eagle. All you can do, friends, supporters and followers and new people, all you can do is try your hardest. But wear your dust mask. You know, I could carve this in 1/10 of the time if I did it at my chainsaw carving tent. But no, we're gonna do it Dremel and maybe pull out the Fordham to remove some wood. So what I'm gonna do first of all, we'll put the camera in the overhead, and I'm gonna remove the wood inside here to get this bark inclusion, the outside, to overhang. So it'll be more cut into there. And then by that time, I'll be able to know what type of wood this is. Big old nasty burl. So this is the widest view I can give you. Now you can really see that end grain and that bark inclusion here. I got to make sure, like, it covers my whole dust collector table, so I got to make sure that I leave some of that open. So this is going to be kind of hard to carve on. Well, it's such a big piece. I'm not going to be filming that much carving. You guys saw me carve my side view of the eagles and how I think about it and go about it. So let's just, without turning my dust, but let's just carve here a little bit with the Kutzall Extreme Flame Burr. And it shouldn't take me that long to realize what type of wood it is. I just want to try and see if I can get this bark out of here. If that even is bark. Yeah, I don't know. How are you gonna tell what type of bark it is with a little piece like this? So yeah, it looks like it's carving easy there where the inclusion was, because, well, there's bark in there. So yeah, it is soft there. Now, do I want to take it up to here? Oh boy, yeah, this is. Oh. Oh, this is maple, all right. If this was birch, I would have carved that down, no problem. You guys saw that how slow the Fordham was even carving. It's maple. It's actually the hardest maple that I've ever carved. Now, burl wood is always, in my opinion, it's always harder. The end grain is always harder, and I hate carving maple. And this is where my plan changes, where I take this to my chainsaw carving tent and I cut this out with the freaking chainsaw, because this freaking maple, I hate carving the maple. But maybe, just maybe, I carve a wood spirit right there. That's not my spit. That's water. With me, wood carving, things change. Things change. I'll say 1,000%. I would much rather carve with a die grinder than the Fordham. It's got way more torque, more speed. It's just such a better tool to remove wood. You guys saw when my Fordham, when I was using it, was just scraping the wood. When I had that 800, I think it's the 800C Makita die grinder with the cut-saw bits in there, it was digging in this wood fairly good. Now I cut my eagle in pretty wide, pretty big. I'll refine it later. I'm gonna put a wood spirit here. You got to remove lots of the wood if you want a subject. You want this eagle to make it look like it's glued on there. Not meaning when you do a cut here, you have to remove all the wood past it. Now there's still tons more work to do on this piece. When did I decide to get rid of all the old gray stuff? I decided when I was doing my chainsaw, my mind was opening up, and I'm like, you know what? I know there's bird's eye up there. Let's get some more water on there. I know there's bird's eye in there. I'm going to open up all this wood and show the beauty of it. Yeah, it's maple. I hate carving maple. When I carve maple, it's fuzzy when it's dry. It's fuzzy when it's wet. And it's easier to carve when it's wet because it's softer. But I don't know. You can see here the color difference right around here. It's pretty wet down there, so I'm gonna let it dry out for a couple days. We got some punky areas, like this was punky in here, a little bit right there. There's still tons more work to go on this, but I think it's starting to take shape. We'll probably make this like a little scoop dish or something. What do you guys think I should do? Who knows? Maybe I might have cut this in so deep here. I can make it a lamp too, a light. But that's going to be it for this one, everybody. It's if you have something like a vise or something, I suggest a die grinder over the Fordham 1,000%. I don't care. I just really don't care. And I'm not saying that to try and make money from you guys buying die grinders. I'm saying that because I mean a die grinder's got so much more power. And you just have to have a vise, or you can get this. You can get a piece of plywood, drill a piece of plywood to this bottom, up, under, then screw the plywood down to a log or something, and there's a good vise for you. You don't have to have a jaw horse or a vise. Just do it like I just said. Anyways, I'm going to let this dry out for a couple days, just the outside wood here, and then we're going to finish carving this eagle and wood spirit. And you can look, I even opened up this hole more. Just gives it more character. Carving fusion, over and out. Part 1. Part 2 will maybe be in a week or two. Love to read you guys' opinions and comments.